Okay, here it is, the moment everyone's been waiting for. The first cut of the India Today Group Cicero projections. Just hold it for a moment, hold it, take it back, pull it back. Just quickly, hold it. Dr. Lahiri, before those numbers, you want to say a quick prayer before you put those numbers out?
I hope all of you will pray for me, because what I will say is that it's not only my judgment, but all of you agreed with that judgment from the exit poll. So be careful. Don't dissociate it.
It's not my headache. It's Dr. Lahiri's next that's on the chopping block here.
But as an old friend, I'll stand by him regardless of his numbers.
Oh, absolutely. This goes back to the
But I think we should remind the viewers, as has been said so many times, that this is an exit poll.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is just the post-poll projections.
Yeah,
I must explain, just for a moment before we put these numbers out. This is based on 8 phases of post-poll surveys, not exit polls. Exit polls are unreliable because you're just catching people as they emerge from the polling booths and you don't know whether you've got your caste, your age, urban, rural demographic right. Therefore, we at the India Today Group have actually spent much more money and gone in instead for a post-poll survey, far more intensive, far more scientific, a far more intensive methodology of putting these polls together. The only exit poll that's been factored in is for the 9th phase, the 41 seats that went to polls today. This is incorporating the polling till about 1:30 p.m. We will put out a revised projection at 9:30 p.m., which will be the final projection put out by the India Today Group Cicero. Based on the exit poll, this will be revised 2 days later when the post-poll figures for the final phase, that's the 12th of May, come in. So after having built in all those caveats...
If your reporters, if your canvassers went to the homes of people after voting...
It's a systematic random sampling based on the electoral rolls of those constituencies, and they go to the homes of people who've gone out and cast their votes. So you know that you've got the right person, you've got the gender balance right, you're weighting it with the survey, you've also got the caste basis right, you've got the religion basis right. So you've factored in and made it as real as possible.
As representative.
As representative as possible. That having been said, let's now call for the numbers, please. Can we have the numbers for what the new parliament could possibly look like? There is the Olympic rostrum, Narendra Modi dancing right on top of it, 272 plus or minus 11, which essentially means that Cicero and Dr. Ashok Lahiri are projecting that Narendra Modi will be able to form the government on the basis of his current allies. So he doesn't need Mayawati, he doesn't need Jai Lalita, he doesn't need Mamata Banerjee. You're saying 272 is within reach, Dr. Lahiri?
See, the verdict appears to be somewhat like 2009, when the UPA went on to form the government with 261 seats. The only difference is, it's not the UPA, but the NDA which is going to likely to get 272 plus minus 11 seats, which means it's well within forming the government. The difference is that the NDA got 160 seats in 2009. If you look at the numbers there, in the 16th Lok Sabha, UPA is likely to get far fewer seats than what the NDA got in 2009. Not only the least ever in any Lok Sabha for the Congress, but it's even less than what the BJP got 116
so there are 2 or 3 things that we are seeing. First and foremost, the BJP is registering its most impressive performance ever, up from the 182 that the BJP got under Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And if it touches 272, all questions of whether there was a Narendra Modi wave or not would be put to rest. 272 would mean that mission 272 for BJP and Modi has been accomplished, Tavneet Singh.
Yes, I think
not 272 for BJP, 272 for NDA.
Yeah, that was their mission statement. I'm sure they'll be very happy if they manage to get 272.
But the factor
Although when
is
we met Arun Jaitley and Amit Shah, they were actually talking of a tally in excess of 300. So you're saying it's not as good as they would have thought or would have liked it to be, but still fairly impressive.
The factor is Modi. You know, I've been saying this, I've been sticking my neck out in my column and they call me a Modi chamchi, etc., which I don't like at all. But the fact is that without Narendra Modi, the BJP, in my view, would have got less than 100 seats.
You're saying without Modi, the BJP would have got less than 100?
I don't believe the BJP would have won this election, would have come close.
I want to go across to Naresh Gujral and get his sense of the post-poll projections put out by the India Today Group Cicero. This is just the first cut of our projections. Mr. Gujral, I want your sense of Dr. Lahiri and the India Today group projecting that the NDA in its current avatar could touch 272. I don't see a smile, Mr. Gujral.
I think you are again grossly underestimating our strength. I am certain that the figure will be much higher when the actual results come out. But in any case, at 265 or 270 or whatever is the figure, we have a huge gravitational pull. You will see number of parties lining up at our doorstep thereafter.
No, but you don't need those parties now. Would you still, as we've seen some reports in the newspaper today, reach out to those parties you don't need and build a broader alliance? Or just say 272 is what we need, we don't need any more, let's get on with the job?
I think Mr. Modi has already spelled it out. He would like more parties to come in so that it's a really strong government which represents almost all regions. And I think for the long term, that is a better strategy.
Okay. Tarun Vijay, I want your sense. I'm going to let you go for the time being, Mr. Naresh Gujral. Thank you very much for joining us with your sense of the India Today Group Cicero post-poll numbers. Tarun Vijay, 272 plus or minus 11. What's your sense if that's where the NDA tally ends up?
Still, Rahul, I think your numbers are conservative. We must be touching 300 and crossing 300. That is our own estimate. And this time, Rahul, you would understand that first time in Indian history, people of India chose their Prime Minister. This was an election for the Prime Ministership and Modi won. It was a Modi-centric election, and though Modi began with the development plank and manufacturing sector, reviving economy and eradicating poverty, but the entire opposition against Modi was Modi-centric. This also helped in a bit. And this also helped people understand that the entire opposition has no agenda but to oppose one single person. So this is the paradigm shift in Indian politics, and this is the time when we have to be very humble and we have to take care of our next programs. Less government, more governance. People are sick of the misgovernance, of corruption, of price rise, and seeing that all the people who crowded North Block and South Block did nothing, absolutely nothing for the common people. That is the great challenge and responsibility on our next Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Bhai Modi.
Okay, just give me a moment, because there are two thoughts I want to build on. Because if I add up, and I'm not a psephologist, but I love playing around with numbers, if I add up all the minimum ranges and the maximum ranges of the numbers that you provided us, the BJP, let's look at the NDA first, could end up at 245 on the minimum side and 305 on the maximum side. You've taken 272 plus or minus 11. Explain to our viewers, those who are watching and are keen from knowing from you based on all your experience, what could change this 272 to 305 and what could bring this 272 down to 245, sir?
See, the most important thing to know is the confidence interval. So you are giving a point estimate which is 272. Now, there are sampling errors. So you could have asked the wrong people. They may not be representative of the number of people that you have asked. They may not be representative of all the voters there. So if you want to be 100% certain, then you can say the number can be between 0 and 543. You can never go wrong. Then you are 100% sure that what you are saying is right. If you say that, no, I don't want to be 100% certain, but I want to be 50% certain, then I can give you a very, very large, very, very small range. But if the more certainty you want, the smaller the range becomes. So here we have taken 2.5%. If you add 2.5% of 272, then you get plus minus 11. So I think we are, hopefully, let's pray that we are right when the numbers come out, we are within 272 plus 11 or 272 minus 11. It's a matter of confidence interval. How much confidence you put on these numbers.
Okay. Also, how much could things change once the post-poll data comes in? Because these seats, 33 seats in UP and Bihar.
41.
No, 41 including Bengal. But I'm saying the seats in UP and Bihar are also very crucial seats. So some of the psephologists I was speaking to say, just hold on till the time you actually see the post-poll numbers, because that too could change things in terms of the BJP strike rate, especially in UP.
It's true. In fact, the post poll will have a more balanced sample. The exit poll the sample design of this post poll and the exit poll are different. So let's wait and see. Particularly if you look, Rahul, the questionnaire shows that some of the people claim that they changed their mind or they made up their mind only 24 hours or 2 days before the election.
Correct.
So pre-poll numbers that we had, they're changing slightly because of the late swing. But I haven't had time, since you wanted to go on air at 6:30, I haven't had time to look at these numbers carefully.
So we will revise these figures.
Sure.
This is just the first cut. It's based on post-poll survey in the first 8 phases. It's based on the exit poll in the 9th and the final phase today. We will revise them, but this is what it looks like. The Congress projected to get between 81 and 91 seats. That would, Shiv Vishwanathan, be the worst ever performance of the Congress party. What does that mean for the Congress if that's where they end up?
Which might be good news for the Congress.
How is that?
Because I think the party has been decadent for so long and in a state of suspended animation that is where a paradigm shift, to use Tarun Vijay's misleading term for the BJP, really applies. It's Congress which needs a paradigm shift. And unless it has disastrous results, it's not going to produce anything.
You know, one of the other things, Sadanand, that these numbers show is that it's the Congress that is crashed, it's the BJP that is surging. The allies have more or less remained where they were. There's no big jump in the fortunes of the allies. In the Congress's case, they're declining. In the BJP's case, they're increasing. But the real game changer has been Narendra Modi.
I think a few things, but if you're looking at the allies, and if you sort of look, I haven't seen this in your post poll, but if you look at this a little bit more carefully, what you're seeing is the left being hurt very badly. So which means the idea of a third front becomes even less viable because of that.
Okay, I want to go across now to the BJP's chief ministerial candidate from Delhi, and if the opinion polls are right, possibly the new member of parliament from Chandni Chowk, Dr. Harshvardhan, is joining us on this broadcast. Dr. Harshvardhan, 272 plus or minus 11. That's the India Today Group Cicero post-poll projection, the first cut. I see you're beaming. You've got good reason to be beaming as well. Your sense of the numbers that have come out so far?
You can't believe it.
Rahulji, thank you so much. I think the results are coming more or less on the expected lines. And honestly, I would suggest that on the day of counting, the results may be even better than what the exit polls are projecting right now. Because what we saw in this election was both the things combined in one election: a strong anti-incumbency and a strong positivity for an incoming government under Mr. Narendra Modi. This is certainly something which was unprecedented, and it has never happened in the history of elections in India, and it is likely to produce an unprecedented result. And I am thoroughly satisfied with what you are projecting. But as far as the country is concerned, I think our number should be somewhere around 300.
Okay, Nalini Singh has a question for you, sir.
Dr. Harshvardhan, I'm not going to congratulate you on post-poll results yet, but I want to ask you, in view of these, are you now going to go to the Lieutenant Governor and ask for the dissolution of the Delhi Assembly and for elections in Delhi now?
You see, as far as Dr. Harshvardhan or his party is concerned, we have never objected to the elections in Delhi. I think if you remember my statement that I gave on the day when Mr. Arvind Kejriwal had resigned as Chief Minister of Delhi, the first thing that I said on the television channels was that I am prepared for an election even within 7 days. So this is something which is going to be a question which has to be answered by the President of India and of course the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi and the Election Commission. I think this is something which Dr. Harshvardhan is not going to decide.
Tell me, Dr. Harshvardhan, in the hypothetical scenario that you managed to beat Ashutosh and Kapil Sibal, and if you beat Kapil Sibal, you'll be somewhat of a giant killer. If you were to be able to slay both these foes, would you stay on as Member of Parliament in Delhi, or will you give that seat up for another shot to be Chief Minister of the capital? You like that question, I see.
Rahul ji, you know that Dr. Harshvardhan has never decided anything for himself in his whole political career. and I am one of those who has fought 2 elections in 4 months. If the party asks me to contest another one in the next few months, I will not mind that. But as far as my decision whether I have to be in parliament or to be in assembly, this is something which has to be decided by my seniors, and I will abide by whatever my seniors tell me.
What would you like to do? Fighting elections is tough business. You've just gotten off 2. Are you happy to fight another one?
Yes, I don't mind fighting another one. If I can contest 2 elections in 4 months, why can't I contest
Let's just put the Delhi numbers back again. For those of our viewers who missed them, the Delhi projection by the India Today group for the capital is that the BJP, which had 0 seats last time, could this time end up between 5 and 7. And the Congress, which had picked up 7 seats last time, all the heavyweights of the party, Krishna Tirath, Kapil Sibal, Ajay Makan, Sandeep Dikshit, likely to be slayed in this massive Modi wave. There it is, those figures up on your screen now. The Congress crashing to 0, the BJP between 5 and 7, and the Aam Aadmi Party between 0 and 2. And Dr. Harshvardhan, the Aam Aadmi Party may not be converting a lot of these votes into seats, but they're still picking up 31% of the vote share, which is substantial, which means it's no longer the Congress, or at least in the current scenario, it's the BJP, which is giving you, it is the Aam Aadmi Party which is giving you the toughest fight, Dr. Harshvardhan.
No, we welcome that. We don't mind fighting the Aam Aadmi Party in the elections, and we have fought them in this parliamentary elections also. We have fought them in the assembly elections, and if they are going to stay for some time in Delhi, we will fight it out. I think they have been exposed thoroughly, not only before the Delhi people, but they have been exposed thoroughly before the whole nation. And I think it will not be too far when they will be ousted forever from the political scene.
Okay, Krishna Anand has a question for you, sir.
Dr. Harshvardhan, you said that you don't mind. Do you at all have a choice? They are here to stay. They got 31% even after you say they've been exposed. So how different is going to be the discourse when you got to fight an Aam Aadmi Party? After all, the Congress was one thing, you said that steeped in corruption, Rahul Gandhi, dynasty and all. But this is another party which is actually sort of, have consolidated, cutting across the social groups. And in spite of the Narendra Modi wave, they are actually tipped to get about 2 seats.
Dr. Harshvardhan?
Yes.
Did you understand that question from Krishna Anand?
Are you asking me? Sorry.
Yes, that question was for you, sir.
I mean, do you have a choice? You said you don't mind fighting them, but you don't have a choice because they're 31% now, cutting across social groups. And all this while when you were fighting the Congress, you had this the great privilege. It was an easy fight. It's steeped in corruption, dynasty, and a whole lot of other things. The Aam Aadmi Party needs a change in the discourse. How prepared are you to fight that?
Should I simplify?
Yeah, go on, Tavleen.
Dr. Harshvardhan, Dr. Harshvardhan, who is going to be your biggest rival when there are elections in Delhi for the Delhi Assembly? Will it be AAP or will it be Congress?
I don't know who is going to be a bigger rival, but we are confident of defeating both of them, whether they fight it together or whether, because it's still not very clear whether they are the A or B team of each other, but even if they join hands together, officially also we'll fight it out. We are not worried about it.
Okay, yes, Sadanand has a question. Before that, if you allow, just give me a moment. I want to put out the big takeaways so far. On the numbers that have been broadcast, let me just give our viewers a sense of what the big headlines tomorrow in the morning in the newspapers will be. Congress likely to slump to its lowest tally ever. Bad news then for 10 Janpath, for Rahul Gandhi. This is the worst electoral performance of the Congress according to the post-poll survey. The Narendra Modi wave is likely to take the BJP to its highest Lok Sabha tally ever, bettering the performance of the BJP in 1998 under Vajpayee when it picked up 182 seats. The NDA by itself in its current avatar could cross the magical figure of 272, and if that were to happen, that would indeed be great news for Narendra Modi, the RSS and everyone in the NDA. The Congress-backed third front government is likely to be a non-starter. In fact, that option doesn't really exist because it won't be required. In the worst case scenario, the NDA may still, and they're talking about trying to build allies, build a broader coalition. They could still reach out to the likes of a Jayalalitha for sure. Mamta and Mayawati, there's too much bad blood with, so I don't know if that's possible. Sadanand, you have a question for Dr. Harshvardhan.
Dr. Harshvardhan?
Go on, he can hear you.
He can hear me?
Yeah.
I know that you're going to say that the BJP is well placed in all 7 seats, but the numbers here show that it's possible that AAP may be winning 2. If you could just take off your BJP hat for a moment and put on your hat as someone who knows Delhi very well, where do you think your challenge is? Which are those 1 or 2 where you think that it may be closer than the others?
Now, if I talk to you very honestly and very objectively, I would suggest that I think I don't know what's the reason why they are showing these probability of these 2 seats. But we are pretty sure that we are winning all the 7 seats in Delhi, and I can't name a single seat where we may lose to AAP. We are very well placed in all the 7 seats, and I think it's only a matter of 72 hours now when we will certainly have the results, because these are exit poll results. They can't be called the exact results, because even for the national projections, I feel that our national projections at the end of the day may be better than what is being projected through this exit poll.
I can give you the answer to that question, Sadanand. In Northeast Delhi, there's a tight fight between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party according to the post-poll survey. There's also a tight fight in Northwest Delhi, and then the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party are in a fight in South Delhi. Those are 3 states, those are 3 seats where there's a tougher fight, and therefore that's the reason why there's a range that's been given. I want to leave it over there. For the time being, Dr. Harshvardhan, for joining us. You're beaming, and you have good reason to. The post-poll numbers giving a lot of confidence to you and to the BJP. I want to ask one question before I let you go. Will the BJP try and add more allies, try and bring in tough people like, say, a Jayalalitha, maybe even a Mamta Banerjee? That's been the story in the newspapers, or do you think if you cross 272, you don't need anyone else? Dr. Harshvardhan, what's your sense, sir?
I think the results of your exit polls, they themselves answer the question that has been posed to me by you, because the exit poll results are projecting a clear-cut 272 plus. We may not need the help of allies. And I think Mr. Narendra Modi ji has already delivered whatever he wanted to be given to the country in terms of his opinion. He said somebody wants to help the party, we don't mind that. But I don't think we will require the help of any more allies.
You're saying no more. I just want to put out the...
Is he relieved he doesn't have to deal with a Jayalalitha? Is he relieved? Dr. Harshvardhan, are you relieved you don't have to deal with one Jayalalitha?
Talk about leading questions.
I think this is a hypothetical question at this stage. There may not be a need for this question to arise at any point of time in future.
Okay, let's quickly take a look at the projected vote share. The first cut of the projected national vote share according to the India Today group Cicero findings. Here it is. The NDA projected to pick up about 38% of the vote share. The UPA projected to pick up about 26% of the vote share. The others at 36. So 38% of the vote share for the NDA, 26 for the UPA, and India Today group and Cicero Dr. Lyrie are projecting 36% for the others.
Yeah, in fact, Rahul, if you look, what is very interesting or disappointing for the Congress, I must sympathize, is that the Congress's performance is the worst ever. It has never done so badly. And look at the way the vote share has come down. It's not because of opposition unity. Congress has lost popularity. If this exit poll is to be believed.
The poll shows the Congress's vote share by itself is coming down from about 29% to 23%. That's a loss of 6% national vote share. So 6% of the people who would have voted for them last time, or 6% of the total vote, has actually moved away from the Congress.
And not only that, it has been a slide over time. Congress, in the good old days, used to get 40, 39, 45% of the votes. It has even got more than 50%.
And the BJP's vote share in this election, Sadanand, has gone up from 19% to 33%. I'm rounding it off from 19 to 33.
Correct.
That's a 14% gain, 14% jump in one election.
Yeah, that's completely phenomenal, and I do agree with Tavleen that it has a lot to do with Mr. Modi. I would like to say, on the other hand, that you've got 36% from what I could see for others, which means regional parties.
Yes.
Which means regional parties are pretty strong.
No, but they were 41% last time.
Yeah,
so they're down to 36.
But still,
that's a loss of 5.
In view of what is coming in terms of governance, what does it do for federalism? Does it strengthen or weaken it in terms of the fact that it's 36% of the vote is still been cast in favor of regional parties?
Rahul, I want to come in at this. You know, the majoritarian rule of the Westminster type that we have, there is a natural tendency for a two-party system. And we have already seen that in states you have two-party system. In Rajasthan, even in UP we had SP and BSP. In Tamil Nadu we have AIADMK and DMK. It's only that a matter of time, and I'm always an optimist, that you will find coalitions forming and the system moving towards a two-party system.
That's not happening just yet, because this data shows that the others still are more than the BJP, more than the Congress. So which essentially means that the others as a bloc still remain formidable. That is outside the two-party system that you would like to see.
But most of them are irrelevant.
Yes.
Now, let me just
we need to head into a break.
I just want to jump in one quickly.
Yes, quickly.
I mean, let's not downplay the enormity of this. The BJP, even when it formed a government in 98 and 99, only got about a quarter of the national vote.
26%.
One out of 4. Now they're getting 1 out of 3 voters. I mean, this is a huge event in Indian politics.
This is huge. Make no mistake, this is one of the biggest.
But please remind the viewers that it's an exit poll.
This is the post-poll survey. These are not the final numbers, and we will be revising our numbers once we have the final exit poll figures. Remember, this is based on the exit poll till 1:30 p.m. this afternoon. Voting carried on till 5:30 in the last, till about 6 in the last phase on the 41 seats. We will put out the final numbers at 9:30 p.m. Till then, this is just the first cut that's been put out.